But some people, I don't know how, but some people may not know who you all are. I don't know how they don't. I don't know. I think everybody knows who they are, right? So, but just in case, for that one person, let's just pretend that there's one person watching or listening right now that don't know y'all. Can y'all say hello to them and then let them know what you guys are all about?
Okay,
they might not know us. You better know her. You better know my wife.
If you don't, I do a little singing, here and there. Been in the game for about 20 years. Tells my age. Won Idol in 2004, and been on this journey ever since. Did a little Broadway. Now on the big screen doing a movie titled Color Purple. I have about, how many albums out? That's crazy. 57 albums. Yeah, somewhere around that number. And I met my husband. And, if you don't know me, Google me. I've always been transparent. I've always put my story out there. And been through a lot of ups and downs. And I met my king. And we've been doing it together ever since.
That's my queen. As far as me, like I would say my wife's accolades are more above ground and mine are below. I came up very rough, very hard, like a lot of black men, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, I was able to overcome a lot of those struggles. Spent a lot of years lost in the streets, but figured out a way to take those talents and skill sets that I was using for unrighteousness and transition them over into the marketplace where I was able to, again, express my capabilities in a very successful manner, have managed, owned, and helped develop many different businesses, self-educated black man. Didn't go further than 10th grade education, but I also understood that education is not bound by just what a teacher can teach me. It's what I have a hunger to learn for myself, and there is no end to that. And so met my wife in 2014. We made a very instant agreement that this was us, that this was it. And I guess we'll dive into, when I heard you all's kick off about money and finances, I was like, okay, now we're going to get to play a little bit because we are a couple who have done things God's way. I think it began with my wife coming in one day and saying, I got a gift for you. I'm looking for a pair of sneakers. I'm looking for, a nice jacket or something, but she gave me something even greater. She showed me her license. And it said Fantasia Taylor. It didn't say Fantasia Barrino Taylor. It said Fantasia Taylor. And after that, we joined accounts, stuff that I was like, how do we do it? But when she didn't have the reluctancy, I said, I have no room for it. So honestly, she led in that area. We joined accounts. We started to have more accountability around our finances. And because of tumultuous situations that I believe we're going to dive in, we had no other choice but to join our businesses. And we stand very strong today in 8 years of marriage. And I would say about 6 years of being in business together. So we're here.
And I just want to say something about that license thing. Because some people may be like, okay, what does that mean to you guys? For me, being an entertainer, people know me as Fantasia Barrino. A lot of people will say, keep your last name. I deal with a lot right now on Color Purple where when they're promoting, they sneak that Fantasia Barrino back in because they feel like that's how everybody knows you. When it comes to me in my house, my marriage and my children come before the stage. I love to sing. It is my ministry, but it is not something that I focus on all day long. People need to know my name and keep my name the same. And a lot of people do it because they work hard. And when a lot of people divorce, they say, I want to keep my last name because that's how people know me. Of course, Tina Turner, she wanted her last name because people knew her as Tina Turner. For her to drop Turner would have been different. There's a lot of Tinas, but there's only one Tina Turner. So I wanted Ken to know, first of all, that this marriage and our family and what we are building is bigger than the stage. So that's why I went and I changed my last name and I didn't have to keep the Barrino because it's bigger than that.
I love that. They speak my language.
Are they speaking your
all
language?
day long. Absolutely.
Why is that?
For some of you all who know our personal story, I married someone that had debt. I didn't have debt.
Was it me?
It was you.
Okay.
It was you. Credit score was a little off and everything, but when we got married, it was us, right?
Yeah.
It was now my debt. And so I love that. Talk about why is it important in marriage for you to join together and be one. I heard you all say that you all have been more successful. You all feel like where you are now is because you all joined together. You all talk about that in your book as well. Talk about why is that important? Why is that important?
You know, when we first got together, like he said, he had his business. I had just started Rock Soul. It still didn't belong to me. I was still up under a label.
No, you still have Bobo.
I still have Bobo?
Yeah, we built Rock Soul. Yeah, you were starting with Bobo.
But I started doing
the brand.
I started basically putting it out there. God had given me Rock Soul. Yes, I was still up under the label. And I was ready to be released and do my own thing. And to be honest with you guys, being released was not something that I seen happening anytime soon. But I said, you know what? I'm going to start speaking it. I'm going to put it out there. Because I was realizing and over the fact that my gift was being prostituted and everybody else was profiting off of the gift and I wasn't. So we were not doing it together at first, and it seemed like we were hitting so many bumps. We were hitting so many. It's just like, what is going on? I know that you're very smart and you built the brand, and if it had not been for you and everybody who was working for him and the people that he came up under and kind of allowed them to move over and rest, they were telling me how amazing he was and what he had done for the company. But it seemed like we were not reaping from what we were putting into these companies and into the music. And so I remember coming to him in the sauna. We were sitting in the sauna, and I said to him, we should do it together. Let's me and you do this thing together. And at first he thought I was crazy. And I said, we both were like, if we're going to lose, we can lose on our own. So we were saying, like, if we're going to go through this, we might as well. You get it? And so from that day forward, when we decided to come together, yes, it was still a little rocky, but we started seeing, God started speaking to us and showing us things and clearing out things. And the label called and said, we're going to let you go. Because I want to let you guys know something. Sometimes either you can be let go or you can be blackballed. Mm-hmm. Meaning they chef you. Nobody else can hear any more music from you. You can do music, but you're not making anything. And that was my fear, because I was like, man, I've been putting so much into this. And every time I hit the stage, no matter what I do, I give my all and I'm good to people and I make sure all my people around me are eating and I'm never cheating anyone. And I'm like, okay, God, it can't go this way. And so when we came together, we started slowly seeing things slowly.
Very slow.
Very slow. That's the other thing, patience, because we want it. What's the song? You may not come when you want them, but it'll be there right on time. We sing it. Girl, when it happened, we be like, hold up, God, I'm going to need you to move a little quicker. It was slowly, we started seeing doors begin to open. We started seeing, like, God started sending all the relationships and all the partners that we needed. And that was all we were missing, was coming together. A lot of times you don't see that in marriages, especially in industry. They're like, no, I got my account or I got a side account. You know what I'm saying? And I told Ken, I said, we got to do this thing together. And when we did, doors began to open.
Like, you have a lot of people who want the blessings of God. You want to be the head, not the tail. You want to be above and never beneath. You love to be the lender, not the borrower. Mm-hmm. We love that one. But don't want to do it God's way, through God's principles. So it's like, you can't get the back end without dealing with the front end. And so we just made a decision to join forces and really cleave and join and become one. And it was a tough moment, man. We were sitting in our first 3 years of marriage between our respective companies. We had grossed $30 million. Couldn't trade the car in. Couldn't sell the house. Couldn't repair the house. And we was like, hold on, yo, we can fail on our own And we literally got rid of every single individual. It doesn't matter if they were on my staff in my company. It doesn't matter if they were doing her makeup. Everybody had to go. The only person who still here is Dorica's, her hairstylist and a dear friend of ours. And we built it from scratch. And so what we're walking in now is a decision we made in 2016. And it has not been easy, but it has been worth it. Yeah. And just as well as we got married after 3 weeks of knowing each other, we had to learn. The learning curve was very steep and very sharp. And then so we get married in 2014. After 3 weeks, you don't really know each other. You know the spirit, you know the principles, you know those non-negotiables are there. But we had to learn the individualisms and the preferences. And then 2 years later, now we're in business together. So we had to relearn each other as entrepreneurs. Who she is as a wife is different than who she is as an entrepreneur. Who I am as a leader, as a husband, is different than how I handle things from an executive level. So we had to dive into that. And, we're still learning things, but it's more rewarding because whether we win, fall, stumble, or stand, it's ours.
We're doing it together, baby.